we are about to get into the upcoming season, Daredevil, Crimson Twilight. Of course, it is the current season because it is May 9th. This thing dropped May 5th, 2026. Our very first card, the season pass card, is Shadowlands Daredevil. 2 cost, 3 power. On reveal, shuffle in 3 demons. When you draw a card with 6 or more power, Shadowlands Daredevil gets +2 power.
Take that, Hood.
Yeah. Like I said, I've seen him a lot here lately. So I'm guessing a lot of people got this season pass. He can generate some stuff. So what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, I ended up grabbing him while I was grabbing dinner the other night. I'm like, I've told Google enough that I haven't been to these places, so I've got enough credits. So I'm going to snag this one. And yeah, well, of course, naturally, I paired him, since he creates a bunch of cards, with Gambit Horseman of Death, speaking of heroes gone wrong. So I've got him in that deck with Mother Ascani, Gambit Horseman of Death, Prowler, Majestic Wingbert, Clea, Marvel Boy. So either I'm going to get Mother Ascani to create a duplicate card that'll activate Gambit pretty easily, or I'm going to toss a bunch of skill cards in there and get and demons in there and get him activated. So that's one I've been messing around with. I think he's one that could make Selene, Horseman of Famine, or whichever horseman she is, a little more appealing, because her power activates when you reach so many cards with no abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then also those demons can feed Strange Supreme.
Right.
I keep trying to put him in stuff, and then I'm like, wait a minute, okay, how many of these do I actually want? Because there's been more than one occasion where I'm like, I'm winning, and then Strange is like, I'm going to take this card.
I'll take that one right there that you're winning that lane with. And
so, yeah, you got to be careful with him, which is par for the course with his appearances in What If. He's pretty powerful, but it can bite you real fast.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I think Shadowlands Daredevil is fun. And even though I prefer original recipe Daredevil, he's a lot easier to work into decks. I love the Daredevil ability, but I rarely find myself actually putting him in decks.
Next up is another card I saw quite a bit, too, and that's Wilson Fisk, Super Premium Pass card, 5 cost, 9 power. This costs 3 if you have the highest power among cards in play. So, yeah, he's in tandem with Shadowlands Daredevil. Most of the time I'm seeing him out there. And so, yeah, you can't complain about a 3 cost, 9 power card.
No.
That's
and
pretty
he
nice.
Activates Daredevil's other ability.
Right. So, what's your thoughts?
When I was a boy. Yeah, definitely nothing to sneeze at. Like you said, not only can he be a 3 cost, 9 power, but there's no downside. Just about anything else that powerful. Gladiator's great, but you've seen plenty of times him pull a card that he can't destroy. And then Starbrand, hey, you like a 3/10, but you really want to knock off that boosting the other locations. So, and if you don't have the highest power card in play, then he's the Abomination.
Yeah, right.
So he's one of those. I didn't do a formal ranking or anything, but a lot of times these second versions of characters, they're pretty different, or maybe not better, but more useful. Like, look at the Thing and the Thing First Steps.
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe they're not all that big a gap, but Kingpin is one where both versions of him are very useful still.
That's true.
So Mr. Fantastic First Steps, Mr. Fantastic, they all have their uses. The Torch, they have their uses. I think Invisible Woman First Steps is a little more useful, but the original Invisible Woman was pretty devastating for a while. But I'm not sure there are alternate versions of cards where their usefulness is as high as both of them, as both of the Wilson Fisks.
Yeah. All right. Well, next up is Karen Page. She's 4 cost, 5 power. On reveal, give one of your
On reveal, trade your lover's secret identity for drugs. I'm sorry. That is not fair. That's reductive.
Oh, goodness. On reveal, give one of your 1, 2, and 3 cost characters +2 power each. So I wrote down here, she needs a gentle nerf to make her represent the character, in my opinion. And I like your response here, but yeah, my comparison is like, when you look at the original Thing before he got his boost, Karen Page, 5 power. Just so what was the original thing? What was his? He was a 4 cost, 5 power, 6 power. So
yeah, 6 power with no ability.
Yeah, I feel like when you look at Karen Page, the other thing I was looking at was like Wolverine Horseman of War has less power than Karen Page.
Yeah.
So I've got a problem with the fact that you're making her a 5 power card, but maybe there's other cards that. This is the first one where I've been like, this just does not seem like Uncle Ben makes sense.
Yeah.
He's not exactly powerful. So I don't know. What's your thoughts here?
It does seem like a lot. And that was mean of me to say about comic book Karen Page, but this reflects more Netflix MCU Karen Page.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
So if you think about that, hey, she's boosting up Daredevil, she's boosting up the Punisher, so that makes sense. But yeah, the 4/5, it kind of reminds me of Aurora.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like, okay, it's cool effect, and I understand the numbers based on the effect, but for that character,
that's right. I remember you making that argument because she had like a 9 power.
It's a 6 cost 6 power, but then she can boost like up to 3 cards at every location.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
now, put those two together. Those would be a couple nice cards to. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping to get Karen or Wilson when I got Archangel, but again, I think Archangel's fine. He's just in a crowded lane.
Yeah,
but this looks like a good card. It makes sense, and the numbers make sense for the effect. But yeah, even for Netflix Karen Page, MCU Karen Page, this seems like a lot.
Drop her down to a 2/3, maybe, and then make it give your 1, 2, and 3 cost characters. Well, maybe just your 1 and 2 cost characters.
Then you can't get the Punisher and Daredevil.
You got a point.
Maybe make it +1.
Maybe it's just give it your 2 and 3 cost characters. Take off the 1 off there, and then it seems like a lot, but whatever. There's other cards.
It makes sense in some ways, but just not for the character. That's not to suggest I won't use her, because I can think of some decks or some cards she would work well with, like Aurora, or even in one of these decks where I've got Marvel Boy boosting up Clea. And so he apparently works on other cards too, but
yeah,
really, at least in the Marvel Snap universe, Clea needs to dump Doctor Strange for Marvel Boy fast.
All right, next up, Punisher War Machine. 2 cost, 2 power. When drawn, mark one of your empty locations. The objective, win that location, you get +1 max energy. I think I like this card. I'm not going to say that it's one I'm going to really shoot for. I also wrote down here, I do like the when this is drawn aspect of the card. We don't see too many of those, if very many at all. Like, I only think, I don't know of any other card that gives you, when you draw this kind of deal. So, yeah, I like this. Other than that, +1 max energy is always helpful. I've really started to understand with Superior Spider-Man how helpful that extra energy is. And definitely, there would be times, again, I threw Superior Spider-Man in that deck with Mother Ascani, and there would be times, I'm not kidding you, where I would have a ton of energy because I couldn't get him out of the left lane or out of the left spot in my cards. So when Mother Ascani duplicated things, she was duplicating him. And turn 6, I have like 3 of those guys out there. 3 Superior Spider-Man. So all of a sudden, I'm like building all this energy. But +1 max energy is great. I like it. So it's interesting that it has to be an empty location, which isn't going to be too hard to have at turn 2. But I do like that because you are going that your opponent knows you're going there next turn. So,
but it says when drawn, so you don't even have to have. If he's in your opening deck, that's why I was saying like maybe use like Hydra Bob or Martyr, someone like that, especially since you've got options to take out Martyr. He'd be good with Cersei because once he does his thing, you don't need.
Yeah, 2 cost, 2 power is not going to break the bank, or it's not going to make a huge impact after he does his thing. So yeah, I agree with you. Cersei would be a good one to throw out there, so you can change him to a 3 cost power or a 3 cost card, and up him a little bit.
Now, however, the effect makes sense for the character, all that, but let's just the effect, the cost and power for the effect. But let's look at this again. Karen Page, 4 cost, 5 power. Frank Castle in the friggin' War Machine.
That legitimately is what,
Cost 2 power.
when I was doing this, that's what I was thinking. I was looking at this next card, and I was like, he's a 2/2 and Karen Page is a 4/5?
It can't always work like that, because like the original Galactus is only a 6 power. Really? Well, yeah, because otherwise he'd be unstoppable. So there's gameplay aspects. Wilson Fisk is a 5/9. So I get there's other aspects besides raw power. And like you couldn't just switch their abilities, because that doesn't make sense for Karen. Well, maybe for Netflix Karen. And boosting other people up is not Frank Castle's style.
Right.
So there's a lot of considerations to go in there. So I'm not saying it's a mistake. All I'm saying is when I look at it, Karen Page having twice the cost and twice the power of War Machine just doesn't seem like
Right. I agree. All right. Next up is Muse. 3 cost, 3 power, ongoing, plus 3 power for each location where one of your cards has been destroyed. I wrote down here, good replacement for Death, ? So, like, Death right now, Death has its advantages where you can bring her down to practically a 0.
Yeah.
But she is also a 0. She is a 0/12. I guess you can lay that out there on turn 6 or 7, whatever you want to do. But you also have, I guess, not even a replacement, but in conjunction with Death.
Oh, definitely.
It's pretty good. But you could take Muse out of there, have them on the board, and each of your locations, if you get a Squirrel Girl and then a Killmonger, you now have a 3/12.
Yeah.
So,
and maybe this is overthinking it, but you could also, just like in those famous issues of Daredevil, team him up with Firelord, because then he could be one of the cards you destroy and then bring him back.
That's true.
So that, or maybe with Morgan Le Fay, I'm getting a kind of a weird Destroy Surfer deck idea. Killmonger, Venom, Morgan Le Fay, Muse. That would definitely be one of those characters that I'll like using in Snap, even though I don't know. He's not a bad character. He just doesn't interest me at all. And I think the show used him kind of like they did in the comics. I think he was painting with blood. I can't even remember. He was an Inhuman in the comics back when they were trying to make Inhumans happen. I don't know. Just not one of my favorite characters, but definitely can see him being useful in this context. And dread the day that they release a chibi variant of him.
All right, next up is Lady Bullseye. 2 cost, 2 power. On reveal, afflict an enemy card with -2 power. Repeat on a different enemy for each of your unspent energy. So this is, I wrote down here, I dig the bonus for not playing cards, which is kind of nice. If you don't play cards, she's still able to make a pretty big impact. And it'd be nice to also put that, if Wong's out there already, you can have that done twice.
Oh, yeah.
It would be, lay her out there on turn 6, and you have -2 power, and then another 4 enemies are going to get -2 power, I guess is what this says.
That could be an 8-cube swing.
Yeah.
There at the end. You play your cards right.
Yeah.
But I do think that can be useful. A little bummed that we got Lady Bullseye before we got Lady Stiltman. Of course, we would need Stiltman. Where's Stiltman second dinner? Come on.
Wow.
So I don't know. I guess putting him in the game would be a tall order.
No, look out. All right. Pulling my leg. Ikari is next up. 4 cost, 12 power. And this is a Sanctum Showdown Surge. I don't know if you checked out that they're doing a little bit of a variation to the Sanctum Showdown. And I read over the rules. I have no idea.
I read it. I don't remember what it was.
I couldn't make heads or tails of it, so it'll be fun to figure out what they're doing.
We'll play it, and then by the time we talk next time, we'll be like, what was that thing with the new Sanctum?
Right. Now,
or at least I will.
Ikari, you can only play this where an enemy is afflicted with negative power. That is hurt upon hurt, because they're already hurting there. Your enemy's already hurting. So, yeah, easily.
He's mathematically a bigger jerk than Cull Obsidian and Crossbone.
Man, oh man, 12 power. So, yeah, I put down here they'll be running with Hazmat. Pretty simple. And it's going to be, unless they got Shang-Chi, it's going to probably be a lane winner. So, your thoughts on Ikari?
Well, I'm just looking forward to being able to digitally recreate those issues of Power Pack where he and Man Thing hung out at the mall with Zabu.
What?
Man Thing, Zabu, they would work well together. Zabu drops them both to a 3 cost, and then Akari can drop in beside Man Thing.
I like it.
And,
love it.
Yeah.
All right, next up is Stick, 4 cost, 3 power. Team Clash reward here. On reveal, give the next card you play power equal to this card's power. Yes, this is the card that I wanted Maverick to be. Maverick is an activate, which I respect, but I wanted it to be a card that you could use an on reveal for, so that the next turn, well, it's pretty much almost the same as Maverick, I guess. But anyway, okay, so my thoughts are, I will be shooting for this card this season. I like this card. Turn 4 will be Stick, and then turn 5 is going to be the Fallen one. So I'm going to try and get Stick built up somehow. And then something hit me. I thought about a negative deck. And having him in there, and now all of a sudden he's a 3 cost 4 power if you draw him later. And then maybe you could also boost him in some way. But you got to figure out a way to pump this card. So Okoye, or not Nadia? Nakia. Well, you got to
Agony.
Anything that can pump this card up so that the next card you play is going to be equal to that power. And I like, what's that? Galacta? Yep. I like the Fallen One idea, but again, Fallen One being a 5 cost, it just stinks getting him out there so late. But we'll see how it all goes down. What's your thoughts on Stick?
I still prefer Maverick because you can keep boosting Maverick after the fact.
Right.
Now, let's say you play Stick, you play Forge, then you play Stick on Agony. So that has Stick at a 7. Then you play Hulkbuster. So you get Stick at like a 17. I feel like I prefer the activate because you can choose your moment better. Of course, maybe that's just because I get so mixed up with order of operations. Like, I can't tell you how many times I'm like, okay, and now this is going to happen. It's like, no, because you played Kitty Pryde because you realized you had an extra 1 energy. So that might just be a me problem. But I will take Maverick. Although, well, see, I used the Power Pack joke too soon. I said Maverick and Stick would probably work well together, like in their Power Pack days. I should have gone with something else. Because okay, here we go.
All right, got it.
Stick and Maverick would work well together, just like they did in that very special issue of Gus Beezer.
Gus Beezer.
Yes.
I do not even know what you're talking about.
Richards, son of a genius.
I know Franklin Richards, son of a genius. I know that one. Gus Beezer, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Ages thing. I think Gail Simone wrote it.
All right, well, let's get into locations here. We're going to Josie's Bar first. Playing 2 cards here in a turn reveals them with 2 power. Plus 2 power, excuse me. So my initial thought was like to get some movers in there, like Madam Web, and then get them boosted and kind of move them out, do another 2, move them out. I dig the fact that this is kind of like the opposite of Luke's bar. Luke will never let you in, or he always kicking you out. And then Josie's, though, gets packed quick. So I like it. So what are your thoughts on Josie's bar?
Athena drinks there.
Yes,
also,
she does.
Shao-Lao the Undying.
Yep.
I don't use Athena and Shao-Lao together very much because Shao-Lao, Athena, you want to hold back. Shao-Lao works as long as you do more than one. So I figured I would use them together a lot. I really haven't. So I know that Athena will be riding Shao-Lao into Josie's Bar, although I would read that comic.
Our second location is Island Prison. Cards here can't move.
Oh, Lian Yu?
What?
How soon they forget. Arrowverse, CW. That was the island where Oliver trained.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was an island prison, if you will.
Oh. All right. Well, no, shouldn't be.
No, he ripped off Batman's bad guys, not Daredevil's.
So yeah, cards here can't move. I laid out here that's going to be the opposite of the previous location's comments. You need to pack Cannonball and anything you can that can get that duplicated, such as Mother Ascani. So you could blast people out of there, which will be kind of nice. You could pretty much win that lane. My thoughts, of course, are let's Legion this thing, and then...
Well, I was just going to say, on that day, your deck will have Mother Ascani,
Legion.
Cannonball and Legion.
That's right. Let's Legion this thing and start blasting people out of there.
And Majestic Wingbird.
Oh, Majestic Wingbird's happening. Definitely happening. All right, so what's your thoughts here? Anything else on Island Prison?
So I just put yes. Yeah, Cannonball.
Cannonball
is the way to go there. I agree.
Okay. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is our discussion on the upcoming season of Daredevil, Crimson Twilight. Thanks a lot for joining us. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for the next installment of Snap Material.